As a pool planner, the number one question that I get asked nearly every day of my life is, how much does that pool cost? And it's a great question, it really is, but the truthful answer is, how long is a piece of string? It comes down to exactly what you want and your site. So the things to think about, and in being able to even give you a ballpark range, is how big do you want your pool to be? Do you want it to be 5 metres or do you want it to be 15 metres? Do you want to have a very automatic system so that you aren't manually cleaning your pool, it's looking after itself, it's the most easiest thing in the world to own? Do you want your pool to look spectacular of a night with beautiful lights in it? Do you feel that you might want to heat this pool? Do you feel that you need to have a cover over this pool? And they're all sort of accessory type choices that you either need to do in the first instance or you can get them later. But you know, that's a big deal to a lot of people of what's going to be a part of it. So you got your pool and equipment accessory type things as one of the main sort of parts of your budget. Then we move into what fundamentally is probably the most important part of it, and it's the operating system. And that's what it's like to own a pool. So I often tell people that if you don't really put much thought into it and you're all about cheapest quote, then that pool will likely, in my experience, be more expensive to own. So in the sake of a ballpark figure, if you say, yeah, I do want something energy efficient, so it's my electricity bills aren't going to skyrocket or anything like that, it makes sense to get equipment that's that little bit better, which is going to give you the room to move within a ballpark figure. So operating system, the cleaning system of the pool, do you want to buy a robot cleaner? Do you want to have in-floor cleanings in the pool? Those types of things, that's sort of a second part of where you should be really aiming some of your budget for. And then obviously you've got to build the pool. So you've got your installation. You might have a beautiful site with nice topsoil, you might have a clay site, you might have a rock site, you might have that little bit tighter access. A crane may be required to lift your pool, an excavator may be able to do it. They're all the things a part of the options and the choices and the nice things that you can have, and the smarter way to be able to pull back on things so you can actually build the pool within your budget. You have what you do is you get a good understanding of what you have to make a decision on, what you have to do now, what you can't do later. So things like pool heating, love it, fantastic, but you can do something like that a little bit later on. So for the pool built to a structural level, on average for most of my customers, I would say anywhere from a 5 metre pool through to a 12 metre pool, from basic but nice, with nice features in it that make it easier to own, through to every bell and whistle you can possibly imagine on a pretty standard sort of a site. So I'm not talking about on a rooftop or a cliff face or anything like that. I would say you'd want to budget anywhere from about 28,000 through to maybe 50. Most of our customers would sit probably 30, 35, 40, 45-ish, and it really depends on what they want. And that's how long is a piece of string.